take it.
Okay.
So, we're with the Alternative Recovery Solutions Program, and we meet every Tuesday at 6 o'clock to talk about recovery solutions, right? And so, basically, what I'm working on this year is the 2026 Recovery Success Journey. So, I wanted to have you come and talk with us about your recovery journey because, everybody's journey is different, right?
Yes.
So how do you process your journey? Because everybody don't go through the traditional 12 steps. What are some of the ideas that you use when you're in recovery?
Um, for me, um, it's working on this program. Um, and it doesn't have to be the 12 steps. It could just be spiritual principles and being honest with myself.
Absolutely.
Um, I want to say practicing acceptance on a regular daily basis. So that's a major part of my recovery. The most important thing is gratitude. Um, just being thankful for every day clean and sober, and just thanking God.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about who you are and how you grew up and what's that like?
Well, I came up in a pretty tight knit family. I was the second oldest of five boys, one girl. Um, my dad died when I was about 5 years old. He was 25, I believe. Um, my mom raised us. She had some help, but um, she raised us on her own. And I don't know, I was next to the oldest, and I was kind of adventurous, bad, but I stayed sick a lot um, with asthma. Didn't have the the type of medication they have now to treat it. So um, I grew up, went to school, grade school, middle school, with high school, and decided I want to live in the streets, not utilizing my the God gifted skills and talent that God had given me. I had no idea that I even possessed any type of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was the cause of my own catastrophes um,
Mm.
most of my life because I didn't understand. Uh, always try to fit in, always try to be a people pleaser, um, and just not knowing where I fit in.
Right. Right.
Um, and here I'm still on this journey. Um, I know that I'm 67 years old, and God has kept me despite myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a long, long journey. Um, but I can't complain because
Absolutely. And that is great. What is your motivation? Like, what motivates you?
um, there's always got to be a why. You have to motivate you. Um, it's going to have a desire to just, like I said, practice spiritualism, doing the right thing. My motivator is probably my grandkids, great grandkids,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a motivator, but they can't. And I said you got to have a why. Sometimes you have to have a why. This is why I'm doing this. But in the end, if it's not about you, then that why is meaningless because it has to be all about you and what you want.
Now that makes a lot of sense to me because I know that's the journey for me as well. But how do you handle when people say that, oh, you're so selfish, it's always about you? Like, how do you handle that part?
I'm still struggling with that a little bit. Like I said, I just try to do service work much as I can, if I'm able,
Hmm.
and just always be of service to another addict or even in society. So,
Hmm.
I want to be a friend of a friend, uh, a brother, a good brother, a good dad, grandfather. So, and that's just practicing those type of you know that type of attitude.
Hmm.
Those feelings, those are my
Right. Do you think that we can pull ourselves out of that and not label ourselves as addicts?
motivations. And that's I think that worked for. It all depends on the person and what type of program they work in. This self care. Um, um, then there's the 12 steps, refuge recovery. But at the same time, addiction is such a cunning, baffling thing. You can be abstinent for years, you know, and still relapse. Classify ourselves as addicts. That's what we are, addicts. We suffer from a disease where there's no known cure. It
Hmm.
can be aggressive. So if you're not practicing any type of program, I don't see it. Then there's the dual diagnosis because a lot of it is, and it is truly a mental disease.
How many people come to the world with the addiction versus how many people are just thrown into the process of addiction?
I don't think anybody's thrown into the process. I think that, like I said, I believe there's a lot of behavior, mental things that goes on with the addiction. But we are addicts uh, before we even pick up the first drink or the first drug. And we have that. We suffer from the disease of compulsion and obsession. Obsession.
Hmm.
The inability to stop once we start, and that obsession, that obsessive thought, just won't go away. And it could be with anything. So
Right.
once you become obsessed with something, you're already on the road to some type of addiction.
That is amazing because, I sit back and I look at how it how candy, when you walk into the grocery store, the first thing that they have is a whole influx of candy right there
Well,
at the
that's the
front
yeah,
desk.
yeah, that's what they do. They put it right there in your eyesight.
Hmm.
Especially if you like it and it's good to you, you're gonna buy it. And every time you go in the store, you're gonna buy it.
Hmm. So let's talk about the turning points in recovery. If someone is just coming into the rooms of recovery and we want to give them some hope, what would be something that we would tell them to pay attention to when the turning point happens? Because, that turning point is kind of hard to face.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Um, the turning point. If you're not willing to be completely honest with yourself, um, and just understand your situation, I mean, the predicament, the consequences, and everything. We're not responsible for our disease. We are responsible for our recovery.
Mm.
So, um, unless you're willing to make a change, um, everything has to change. Behavior, attitude, um, Those are the very first things you got to start working on. Get rid of that resentment, the anger. Um, there's just so much you have to work on, but it's only one day at a time, and it's a process. It's
Right.
not overnight, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. They really don't understand what a addict or a person with some type of addictive behavior go through. So
Mhm. So, what do you think recovery stories of success means? Like, what's your definition of a recovery story of success?
recovery story of success. Like I said, my recovery of my journey, working on this program, continues practicing spiritual principles. God, you doing everything you can do. You're doing right. You
Hmm.
try to do right. Nobody's perfect. Okay. But there are benefits, but it's called recovery because you regain everything that you have lost. Self worth, esteem, uh, mental, spiritual growth, um, your family, you're employable, um, all that. You become a productive member of society. And for me, that's just been the lives of my family, um, who loves me dearly, and I love them. So it's recovery. Everything that you lost, you regain.
Absolutely. And I like that for you that, you have a good support system. And, for me, I feel recovery stories of success is just giving hope, like you said, and not being perfect.
Right?
Just because the term success is there, it's just a striving for something to make you say, well, I got to get up today and do this because I know I'm worth it. You know what I mean? But some people feel that if they fall back, relapse, that they're unsuccessful. But when you catch yourself, that's when recovery begins again, right?
It, recovery begins when you have a when you have that desire. When I mean, you've relapsed and still not want to use. I mean, relapse, but you have that desire to keep fighting. Okay, and just like any other disease, it can become uh, aggressive, and sometimes more aggressive treatment is needed, or like I said, some type of mental intervention.
Hmm. Hmm. And a lot of people don't even understand that addiction is no more than abusing themselves. That's how I look at it with when I determined and decided to go into recovery. I'm like, I'm abusing myself. Oh my God, how did I get here?
Hey, you know, we cause a lot of people great harm, but most of all, we harm ourselves. Um, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, we are self-destructive. Um, we always put ourselves in harm's way. Even the abuse, the using the drug. Of course, people are dying left and right, and yet still,
Yeah.
yeah. So we gonna there is, and like you said, it's abusing ourselves. So
Mhm. So I'm just really grateful to know that you have, you know, stayed in your recovery journey, and it's, not about perfection, but about persistence. I saw you looking beautiful in LA. How was that?
fabulous, fabulous.
Oh
It
my
really,
goodness. Hollywood Boulevard.
yeah. It was a
Yeah.
little chilly though. Everybody seen the sun shining, but it's a little cold in LA.
Hmm.
Uh, this time of season, the rain is the substitute for snow.
Oh,
So, yeah. So,
yeah.
but it was nice. I enjoyed myself,
Hmm.
and I just, just experienced another part of the world that I didn't know existed. The landscape is so beautiful. and I just look at God's creation, and it's just amazing.
Perfect. That is great. Well, I just wanted to let you know that we thank you here at Alternative Recovery Solutions. This is a pre recorded podcast. And how do you feel now? How did you feel when you first started versus now?
Um, a little bit more relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
um, trying to monitor myself and still just going with, just being honest. I mean, I'm being honest, but still, just a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it's a journey. It is, and it's not just one day. And the more you get on and, make yourself visible to the world and practice what you preach, it works. It works
Right.
if you work it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
So,
sure.
yeah, I would love to have you back on. And would you like to tell the audience anything specific that is on your heart right now?
And so my heart is, I believe that, you know, today is all we have, and we're supposed to make. We should. I do try to make the day the best day possible, the best day of my life. I can't think about tomorrow. I can't think about yesterday. I can only think about today and what I can do for someone and myself today.
And that's a great place to be. So we thank you so much for visiting us. Stop by anytime,
Thank you.
send me a holler.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. That's
Still working on
awesome. Yes, well, I'm going to be right there. All right. God
it.
bless
Okay.
you.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And with that, we will close this segment out. We don't have any questions right now. So we thank you all for being here.